Hello, it's Ron and Kimberly continuing our study of the Leonardo da Vinci, How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci, 7 Steps to Genius Every Day. And today we're talking about synesthesia.
What is synesthesia?
Now, synesthesia is
the merging of the senses. So
5 different senses.
Combine them all into one. Synesthesia.
Here's our self-assessment. I enjoy describing one sense in terms of another. I intuitively understand which colors are cold and which are hot. My response to art is visceral, and I am aware of the role of synesthesia in the thinking of great artists and scientists.
So really it really is just the culmination, the merging, if you will, of what you're turning one sense into another. So for instance, one of the activities is drawing music. So listen to your favorite piece of music and then choose different colors on the paper to express what it is you're hearing in a visual sense. Make sounds of color. Describe a painting with colors and shapes and textures on the canvas by vocally picking those things out. Shape the invisible. If you were a sculptor, how would you shape that piece of music? Now this is a really fun one. Transpositions, right? So explain what that is.
Review your list of great artists and composers. So imagine transposing them based on their work. For example, if Mozart were a painter, who would he be? Or maybe think that if Michelangelo were a musician, he would be like Beethoven. And if Mozart were a painter, he'd be like Raphael.
Who do you think that they would be like? Engage in synesthetic problem solving. So take a challenge. Maybe you have a challenge in front of you and think of it in terms of what does it look like? What shape is it? What color is it? And sometimes visually giving life to your challenge helps you to understand how you can overcome that challenge and, break through, if you will. Another fun exercise is make synesthetic minestrone. You think of minestrone, this soup, I guess it was Leonardo's, from what they said, it was one of his favorite things to eat. And you think about, a minestrone soup has so many different colors and textures of different foods and flavors and all of that. So you can make this dish. It wouldn't fly in my household because I have picky eaters. I personally might make it for myself one time, but yeah. So you can make it a delectable dish that can really incorporate textures, colors, shapes, all of that into one dish. Now this is really interesting. Share with them, why do scientists study rats? Why do they choose rats a lot of the time?
Well, rats have the same type of nervous system or similar characteristics of a nervous system that we do.
Yes.
And so what they basically decided to do is remove them from any type of senses, in a sensory deprived environment.
So they took part of them and did that with.
Right, and they did with the other part.
The other part, they put them in a sensory rich
like
environment.
Music, they listened to Mozart and they listened to, classical music and were around different smells and things like that.
And different textures and all of that. So what happened?
The ones that were sensory deprived developed all kinds of different problems.
Stunted brain development.
Stunted brain development. They weren't they were not able to go through the maze as effectively as those who had were not sensory deprived.
Yes, and they were prone to aggressive, violent social behavior. So, food for thought.
Yeah.
And the ones that were exposed to the sense, their senses were enriched and enlivened, they were able to do complex mazes. They played happily together. They were just better, happier rats. So, but you think about children. This was a note to parents. Listen to Mozart. Play Mozart for your babies. Play the different artists, Beethoven. expose them to art young, expose them to different foods and different flavors. I thought I had done a good job of that, but I think I should have done a lot better. Then maybe I wouldn't have the picky eaters that I have now.
One of the reasons why we play, when we're doing homeschool, we listen to, classical music and Baroque music, and it really seems to calm the kids down a little bit and allows them to be able to learn and take in the information better.
Just softly, in the background.
Just softer in the background. Nothing loud, but your subconscious hears that, and it helps tremendously.
And that leads us to Sensei's Zone at work. And they did a study of a medical research company. This company had asked the author of the book, I believe, to come in and do an analysis of how to make their workplace more efficient. They were taking a long time to go through the training courses for their employees. And he said he was impressed his first trip to their company. They had state-of-the-art interactive training technology. The students attended sophisticated computerized classes. They had actual machines to work on. But, and here's the big but, the learning environment was standard cubicle consciousness. Now, what is it? We always, you hear when people have jobs. It's been a while since I've had one, but they want you to
remember though. Yeah.
They want you to be a creative thinker, right?
Right, but
they want you to be innovative and think outside of the box.
Outside the box, yeah. If you think about what's the cubicle, it's a box. About 6-7 feet. Lengthwise. And
how do you think out of the box when you're in a box?
Yeah.
So. They had generic color walls, fluorescent lights, all of those kind of things. So what they did is they took 39 members of the Learning Resources team. They spent 3 days on a training program where they focused on the application of Da Vincian thinking skills to real-life problems. Now, on the first day back in the workplace, they experimented by playing
Mozart violin concertos during the workday, again at a low level. From the first day onward, they reported their students were asking at least 50% fewer unnecessary questions.
Wow. That's a lot.
They speculated that music helped their students relax and focus, freeing them the need to get confused in order to get a break from the monotony.
Now, some of the other changes they made is they removed the machine pictures and replaced them with reproductions of their favorite paintings.
Replaced the fluorescent lights with full spectrum bulbs.
They encouraged the students to bring in fresh flowers and plants that would be, aesthetically pleasant. They're fragrant and really liven up the office.
They also transformed the coffee lounge into a creative break room, filling it with colored pens, flip charts for doodling. They even provided Play-Doh and Slinkies to enliven the senses.
And erector sets, so making it fun. They also encouraged the learners to take up to 10 minutes of brain break every hour. So taking that break.
Now the conclusion to these changes, the Learning Resources Group did its own study on the effects of the changes over the course of a year, and the result was they improved by 90%.
So that's not just a little jump, 4, 5, 10, 15%, 90% improvement.
In effectiveness.
So think about how that applies to you in your home, your learning environment for your children, and also for yourself, especially those of you who work from home or even in an office. How can you improve your effectiveness? You could actually take a room of your home if you have it, or a closet, or some kind of corner space where you could set up your own maestro studio. Have the different colored pens, have visually stimulating artwork, have whatever is appropriate for you in your own studio. So, the next week, we actually won't be posting the next sessions of our book for another week. So you're going to have to wait. We apologize, and yet we're not apologizing.
That's right. We just celebrated 15 years of marriage, and so we are actually going on a cruise to the Bahamas for a week. So we're excited about that, and we will continue our study when we get back.
I'm not going to say the first day, but we'll continue when we get back. So definitely stay tuned. We'll be on social media here and there as we can, but not as much as we have been. But send us a message, and again, stay tuned for the next video. And when you wake up
unstoppable.